Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter.
This video is our Survivor Winners at War Episode 7 reaction, otherwise known as Jessica's Pit of Great Despair.
The Yule School has been closed.
This is a very sad night. We're all in it together. Things were looking so good for Yule, and then in one episode, everything just disappears into thin air. We've got so much to talk about in this video.
We do.
I mean, I will start with this, though. We have on edge of extinction now Boston Rob, Parvati, Yule, Ethan, Tyson, and Tony is still somehow in the game. Tony!
I know. Everything is working out for you, Matt. Also Tony.
Well, let's be real here. If there was just like 3 seconds later on the immunity challenge and Tony is going to edge of extinction right now.
Probably.
This is a very funny, interesting turn of events, but we'll talk everything through here. Before we dive in, if you guys do enjoy this discussion, which is going to be probably more emotional than last night's finale for This Is Us, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Yeah, this is a very emotional occasion for Jess, and I'm just gonna give you the floor.
I thought I was just gonna cry real tears when he was playing himself with that whole fire token nonsense. I think that Yule got ahead of himself when he started getting real devious, talking about these fire tokens. Oh, how can we get Wendell's fire tokens? I was like, oh no, what are you doing? This is not going to end well. People are going to know just how hard you're playing and just what kind of a game you are willing to play to go forward. And he played himself and now he's out. And I hate it. I hate everything about it.
This is the thing. Nobody should bring up fire tokens in any conversation moving forward the rest of the season. And this is where, as much as I love Yule, and I do love Yule. I mean, I don't know if, I know you're hurt, and I'm not going to say that I love Yule as much as you love Yule, because I don't know if it's possible. But I do think that Yule, he saw Parvati have these same conversations about fire tokens, and Parvati was gone. He's not privy to the fact that Sandra tried to do all this finagling with fire tokens and got voted out. But just stop it with the fire token plans, everybody. And Yule, by the way, at Tribal Council, I'm sure the plan was already decided, but him sitting there talking about basically Survivor economics and giving his TED talk for 3 minutes, Yule, don't let them see how smart you are. Come on, man.
Yeah, that didn't help, but I think it was already decided before they got there. But the fire tokens, I think, have just thrown such a wrench in everybody's game mentally, because everybody knows that the fire tokens are worth something. They don't exactly know what they could be worth later. It's just everybody seems to be trying to get as many of these fire tokens as they can without really knowing how much they're going to come in later. I mean, they just don't know. So just stop it. You can win the game without the tokens.
It's do I think they're gonna matter? Sure, I think they're gonna matter, but you know what else matters? Staying in the game matters. And I think at this point, try not to have as many conversations about things that you can't predict, and instead focus a little bit more on the now. Like you said, Yule got a little bit ahead of himself. I think he counted on the loyalty of some of the people that were with him, but there's a few different things to talk through with this. And I think obviously this is the right move for Wendell because he doesn't want to be voted out.
Well, that is the thing about it. As much as I hate this, and I really hate this, that Yule left.
Yeah.
Yule's the right choice. I mean, Yule is very dangerous. He is very smart. He knows this game really well. He is kind of doing these other little sneaky things about the fire tokens. He is dangerous, and he's very likable. You need to get Yule out, and I get it. I just hate it.
I will say this. I think it is potentially the right move for Michelle. I think it is the wrong move for Nick, and I think Nick should not have done this.
I actually am more surprised, and I get what happened with Wendell at the last Tribal Council, and then Yule was kind of yo, what happened? I thought the three of us were solid.
Yeah.
Those three should have just stayed solid, and everything would have been fine.
I think if they were able to stay solid, maybe Yule did kick the hornet's nest a little too much, having that conversation with Wendell after Tribal.
I think if it had just gone a little bit differently, and maybe Yule handled Wendell a little bit differently, then Wendell wouldn't have felt like, oh man, okay, now I'm in trouble. Yule doesn't trust me anymore. And if Yule had kind of came to him in another way to be like, listen, I know that this happened. I saw you were played it different. I saw you were kind of put on the spot by Parv, and you know what? I know that you're still with us, so don't even worry about it. I think that it could have gone differently with the three of them. Then Wendell might have walked away and said, okay, we're together still, so let's just get rid of Michelle.
Hold on a second. I got to grab my tinfoil hat from down here. I haven't put it on much lately, but okay. Here we go. Let's do this. I am going to posit a theory here that Yule would have always been the person who went in this spot, because I'm going to pose a theory here that Wendell and Michelle have no intention of ever actually getting rid of each other. I'm not saying they're still together. I'm not going crazy like that, but yes, ultimately, we saw what we saw at the last Tribal Council this past episode. But in the end, Michelle knew that Wendell wasn't going to be voted off at that Tribal Council.
It's true, but if Yule and Nick had stayed together, then at least they could have tried to pull Wendell in. Wendell would have had to work two people, where the two of them would have had to just work Wendell.
I just think what happened here, and this is just, well, maybe what happened here, is that maybe, Wendell decided after that conversation with Yule that he wanted Yule gone. And maybe because Michelle knows Wendell, and if nothing else, they have a pre-existing relationship. She understands when he's lying or not lying. She understands a lot about him. She's just like, okay, I want to make sure I go further in the game with somebody I can read.
Yep.
And then maybe Nick is in a position there where he's like, well, I don't want to have the game go to a tie vote this early in the game because that's all sorts of problems on its own. And then maybe Nick just decides at that point to go over, because if I'm Nick, I wouldn't want to be, in a 3-person group with 2 people who already have a pre-existing relationship, because I know there's a final 3 at the end of all of this, but still, I don't like the move for Nick as much, because it feels like Nick could have been a number 2 to Yule, and it feels like Wendell and Michelle can be number 2 to each other, even if they're incredibly dysfunctional.
No, I agree, and now Nick is in kind of a boat on his own.
I mean, I could be wrong here. I mean, Wendell could turn around and vote Michelle out at the next Tribal Council. It's just, ever since those two got together, I can't shake the irrationality in my head that they are going to want to get rid of each other when they know each other and they can read each other. And I just think it's certainly possible. Michelle knew Wendell wasn't going at the Parvati vote, and she felt like she needed Parvati's fire tokens or whatever else, so.
I just don't know why the whole group didn't split the two of them up. I know that they're coming across that they're not really getting along and whatever, but it's not enough for me. If I'm there and it's like, oh, these two used to be a couple or kicking it or whatever
Wendell was saying,
yeah, outside of the game, then they gotta go. It just is what it is. You can't. It's like the idea of the poker alliance that never really was a thing, but it's kind of like, oh, they're all friends, they all know each other, so there's something more to them. There's a trust outside this game, so there's a trust inside this game. As soon as I found out those two had any kind of relationship, I don't care if they're still friends, they're on terrible terms, one of them has to go.
I just think, let's point out and give Michelle some amazing amount of credit here, because this was a 3-person alliance that felt impenetrable, and yet she is still here. This is why, before the season started, I predicted Michelle would go pre-merge, because if I was playing the game, I would get rid of Michelle really fast, because I knew that people would do this and forget about her and underestimate her, and all the Michelle fans got mad at me for saying what I did back then. But it is just like, she's really, really dangerous, and Michelle can win this game, and you people are keeping her. She's going to go under the radar. She's going to continue to have this nobody believes in me winners at it.
Yeah, people sleeping on Michelle in this game.
And I mean, I don't necessarily know that she's going to win, but I just think she's got such potential to make it really, really far. And the fact that she was able to do this,
Yep.
That is all impressive.
And on top of it, she does have Wendell in this game, and I think you're right, they're not going to really vote each other out.
That's just my tinfoil hat theory, but it may be very true.
I think it's true.
Okay, let's talk about irony here. Wendell in fighting with Probst, which, by the way, let me put this out there. I love it when people fight with Probst. It is one of my favorite things about Jonathan Penner when he was on. He was out getting fights with Probst in the middle of challenges. But, Wendell's just so salty this season. And there's, I know Wendell's getting a lot of hate about it. And, yeah, I mean, maybe he's getting a little bit of a villain at it. But at the same time, I kind of like that he's really grumpy. Because it's I like grumpy survivors here and there. And it is just Wendell pretty much... I don't know if he lost him the challenge because he was so snippy with Probst and he seemed so transfixed on getting mad at Probst, but...
Well, I was kind of wondering if he was just trying to distract Jeff because they were so close that if he was kind of like, hey, over here, look at what I'm doing, because it was by a second that if Jeff had turned his head away, that maybe then it would have been and you guys are the winners instead. I was wondering if that's kind of where he was going with this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Wendell is just has some weird 4D Survivor chess going with Jeff in the immunity challenge. But yeah, it felt like they lost that challenge by actually 2 seconds. It felt legitimately that close. And Yule was probably off somewhere stewing on edge of extinction, being if Wendell had just stopped that, I would still be in the game.
No, he's not. He's over there catching fish and making sure the camp is all happy and everybody's got good morale. It is a good thing for them over there that they have Yule, but not good for me.
No, we will still be sad about Yule for quite some time moving forward. And, share all of your commiserations, your thoughts in the comments. We will all deal with the loss of Yule in the game itself. But there is still Edge of Extinction.
Yes.
And there's something big we have to talk here about first and foremost, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Survivor people who are very mad that Sandra chose to leave. And this legitimately in the moment it shocked me because I was just thinking, okay, all these winners are there to play. I wouldn't imagine any one of them giving up. But then, as Sandra started to explain it and sort of was I'm not good in challenges. Why am I going to sit out here and waste my time to just lose? I was just thinking, you know what, Sandra, you're probably right. I understand where she's coming from. She's already won 2 seasons of Survivor. For me personally, I would want to stay out there and finish the season and feel like I did everything. But that's just me. I'm not out there hungry and starving and just depressed about being voted out.
I can get where she was coming from, where she was I've already won and I'm not great at challenges, so here's the flag and I'm out. But this is a game for not only $2 million.
Yeah.
This is a game for really bragging rights. I mean, really being the queen of Survivor. Yeah. You are here with all the winners, or as many of the winners that are here this time around. You are here with all winners. I was really shocked. As it was happening, I was just is this really happening? I can't even believe that this is happening. This doesn't feel like what I expected from Sandra or really anybody here. I didn't expect this to happen. Yeah, she may feel that she's not as good as other people in the challenges, but there is fire tokens and currency in this game that can allow you advantages. And even something like Tyson's peanut butter that, they were saying, oh, we're only getting a half a cup of rice a day. Okay, that's good information to have, because that means that Tyson's choice of peanut butter is even more valuable than I actually thought. And I mean, I thought peanut butter was valuable to begin with because it's a great source of protein. But now that I know what everyone else is eating, I'm oh, now it's become even more valuable. So the fact that there are these fire tokens out there that can help her get back into the game and have an advantage, it isn't just, oh, well, I'm bad at challenges, so see you later. You can have an opportunity to swing it in your favor in a way that you wouldn't have been able to if there were no fire tokens. So to see her go home was, I didn't like it. I wasn't happy with it. I have the disappointment.
I'm gonna be like the parent here who just like, they see the kid come back when they're partying out late and they're like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. It's like, I understand it in a way because I know that she was just on Island of the Idols beforehand, so she's probably been out playing Survivor and in the elements for a long period of time. She's played a lot, she's won a couple of times. She probably didn't have a great chance, but like you said, the fire tokens were there. I love Sandra as entertainment. It's disappointing that she's gone because I think if nothing else, she's just fun to have on TV, and
she is tremendous TV. Yeah. So as soon as I saw that happening, it felt like I was watching a horror movie, just like unfolding in front of my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't happening. Is this really happening? There goes the flag. This is happening.
Yeah, it is a bummer. I mean, I still appreciate everything Sandra's done for Survivor, but yeah, kind of a ho-hum ending to this part of the story. But let's talk about the edit on Edge of Extinction.
Well, we also have to talk about the fact that she said she's retired.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me even more sad, where I was just like, oh, so what? Is she really retired? Is this the last time we're ever going to see Sandra play this game?
I think so. I think she's done. I really think that, she's played so many times now. She did Island of the Idols. She's won twice. I just don't think she may feel like she has nothing else to gain, and I think she probably may also feel like if she comes back again, they're probably going to get rid of her again because she's won twice and she's sort of a big threat. And I kind of think for certain people, it kind of just works out that way, where you play a few times and you're like, okay, there's nothing more for me here. I know. I will miss Sandra so much. But Boston Rob, what was it with like the Columbo edit on Rob tonight, where he's just like, hey, let me tell you everything about what happened. And then you get like the reenactment of all of it. Like, oh, I went over here, and then I went over here and got the idol. Like, it's okay, not idol, whatever it is.
It was so good. I loved that edit. It did feel like I was watching like some old NCIS episode where it was like, and this is what really happened. And then he's here, and the fire token here, and another one here, and here, let me pull out my pockets. It was like, wow, okay, that was pretty good.
Put me on the next NCIS team. Like, no, it was funny. It was ridiculous. I mean, my vision's not great. I don't have a tally of all the fire tokens in front of me. I may do that in a video tomorrow, but it's, good on Rob for finding all these. And the funniest thing to me was Tyson was so proud of like the one token he had. He's like, hey everybody, look at this token I got. Look at this thing. And Rob's standing right there in his head being like, yeah, I found the other three. It's just, hey, I loved this whole segment. It was ridiculous. I still have qualms about Edge of Extinction later on this season, but it has been fun seeing a lot of these people, and there's so many jokes online now about Edge being a retirement home for old school Survivor players, and Yule going there doesn't help anything with that.
No.
It is just sad. I mean, so many people I love are all there.
I know.
And Parvati, like, helping Ethan was so wholesome, and I was just like, I'm so sad, you people. Who wouldn't want to be friends with Ethan and Parvati after that scene?
I know.
Well, all right, let's shift over again to what's happening in the game itself, because DAKAL, okay, we have a classic case here of Survivor Edit, and I'll say this here because I forgot to say it earlier too. I am really starting to hate the let's have a confessional from someone after the challenge, and then that person gets obviously voted off. The moment I saw Yule with that sort of confessional after that challenge,
you were like, uh-oh.
He's done. I knew Yule was done that very second. And I mean, I'm not doing this whole I'm right, ridiculousness. It's just, they have done this so many times that anytime we see that confessional, and I will feel this way for the rest of the season, and I'm putting it out there in case Survivor wants to change it. If you have somebody acting confident in that confessional after the challenge, they're going. And with DAKAL, the moment that Tony in that confessional is just like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good with my tribe. I was like, oh good, Tony's going to be voted out soon. This is not great for me. And yeah, Was it not for Wendell, maybe doing whatever Wendell did,
yep,
Tony would be on that boat trip right now.
I think he would have been.
Tony, you're trying so hard. You're not going in full. You're running around for idols. You're sprinting in front of your tribe mates.
I don't know what he's doing, but he is at least putting together a pretty good distraction on that he is a pretty big threat. And I mean, it's not working completely. Some people are like, I still see you, Tony. But, you know, he's doing what he can.
Can we question Kim for a second here? And don't be it from me to want to question Kim, because I still feel like she's amazing. But the idea of, I feel like I can really trust Denise. After Denise just totally just owned Sandra at Tribal Council.
Yeah.
I don't think I could get there if I'm Kim at this very moment in the game.
No, I couldn't either. But I mean, at the same time, she is trying to build that idea that she can really trust Denise. And I think it's possible, too, that she just knows that Denise does need to make those kinds of connections after what just happened. Because while Denise made this really boss move, but everybody saw it. So now it's like, can we really trust Denise? So I actually think it was really smart that Kim was playing it that way, and that she'd be like, basically like, it doesn't even matter what you just did. I trust you, and I still trust you, and I'm going to continue to trust you. That I think then Denise would be like a little more like, all right, so I made this huge move, and I totally backstabbed Sandra with her own idol, and now this is working. I think Denise needed something like that to give her just a little bit of a breath to be like, okay, all right, I'm all right.
I'm going back and forth about this, because in some ways it's almost like Denise has more to prove in some ways, I think, out there, when she's not really regarded as this best Survivor winner, even though she's really good, and she just made this awesome play. And she's trying to get in with the in crowd a little bit, and so she's going to do whatever she can. But Tony's the reformed bad boy who, used to cause all the trouble at school and was just running around with the graffiti, and now he's trying to show that he's good and on his best behavior. I don't think Tony's going to get rid of you. He's trying to change his ways.
You just want Tony to stay in the game.
I have little else. All of my favorites are getting voted out. Tony, I will talk more about Tony in the preview, because I have some takes on Tony's future on Edge of Extinction. Well, not on Edge of Extinction. He's not there yet.
He's not there
in the
yet.
Game. But hopefully he doesn't end up there.
I think his days are numbered.
Probably.
There's not a lot of really obvious threats left, but he is one of them. And Kim is also one of them, but Kim is making some inroads here, so I think she's going to be all right. I think she made a good move selling that to Denise, whether she believes it or not.
I think she may have made a good move just by virtue of not wanting there to be a 2-2 tie. If it was clear Denise and Jeremy weren't turning on each other.
Yep.
In all seriousness, I do understand it, even if I do want to save Tony. Okay, let's go to Yara for a minute, where poor Adam, the Survivor editors just really had it out for Adam.
Yeah, they did.
In this episode. It was really, really funny, though, because they knew what they were doing when they had these things. It's like, I may be an idiot, and you can sort of hear the Ron Howard as the narrator from Arrested Development being like, in this moment, he actually was. I mean, Adam's obviously not an idiot.
No,
I mean, Adam's a smart guy, but it's just in the game, it's so easy to feel so confident about something.
Yeah.
Poor Ben, by the way. He's just out there. Ben is obviously faking, looking for an idol, and Ben is legit trying to find an idol. It is the comedy of errors of Ben and Adam, who I'm starting to feel like they may legitimately just not like each other.
Oh, I don't think they do. It feels like it. I mean, not like they hate each other or anything like that, but that they are just getting on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
Sophie really played that well. People are not taking her seriously. And it's the people that are not being taken seriously are the people that are going to end up at the end of this.
I think Sophie is playing better than anyone right now, and I think she's got an idol. She's close with Sarah. It seems like she's kind of reeling in Ben.
And she's not on anybody's radar.
Yeah, I mean, Kim, she's got an inroad with now because she gave that idol back to her. She's just well connected. in a lot of different spots. She's very socially strong, strategically strong, underestimated. She's going to do really, really well unless she starts trying to finagle fire tokens in the next episode. Sophie,
man,
not to bring up bad memories again, but Sophie is going to be, I think, A-okay. And after this season, can we have like a buddy comedy with Ben and Adam where they're like coworkers and they're stuck somewhere and have to work together? Like I am all about whatever is going on between the two of them.
You would watch that all day.
I will watch the what is an anti-bromance, because I'm pretty sure that is what they have going on. It's not a hate-mance, but it is just sort of like they're driving each other crazy. But Yara,
like the odd couple.
They're the odd couple. This is an odd game. I mean, I am bummed that so many old school people are on edge right now, and it's weird that you have people like Tony and Kim who you look at as like grizzled veterans now, and it's like they're not really all that old in terms of when they played. But here we are. That is our take on Survivor Winners at War, episode 7. What did you guys think? Are you in recovery right now over the loss of Yule?
Do you all need to go and drink a whole bunch of wine like I'm about to do?
Let's do that after the preview discussion. Yes, give us a like. Let us know in the comments. Give us a like, subscribe, and actually the drunk preview may be more fun. But if you guys do want to support us, check out the link in the description to the store, and we'll see you here next time.